Awesome. All right. Well, my name is Layla Tappy, and I am the recruiting outreach partner with Boys Town and our human resources team. I'm going to be talking a little bit of our life-changing careers at Boys Town, and my coworker, Lena Badami, is on the call as well. She'll be talking a little bit later on, but she is our talent acquisition partner for Boys Town, Nevada.
Hello, everyone.
So I'm going to start with a little bit of a story just with our background on Boys Town and what we do. So back in 1918, a boy named Howard Loomis was abandoned by his mother at Boys Town, which had opened just a year earlier in 1917. So we've been around for a pretty long time. Howard had polio and he wore heavy leg braces, and walking was pretty difficult for him, especially when he had to go up or down the steps. So soon, several of Boys Town's older boys were carrying Howard up and down the stairs. And one day, Father Flanagan, which was actually Boys Town's founder, had asked Reuben, again, one of those older boys, if carrying Howard was hard. And Reuben had replied, "He ain't heavy, Father, he's my brother." This motto is still the best description of what our boys and girls at Boys Town learn about the importance of caring for each other and having someone care about them. But I think beyond that, he ain't heavy is relevant. At some point in our lives, most of us have to be carried by someone, metaphorically speaking. At some point, we probably carried someone else as well. We're human, we stumble, and we look to each other for help when we do. And that's what it means to be an employee here at Boys Town, and just being a part of a nonprofit organization, whether it's at Boys Town or somewhere else in Nevada or across the nation. So, as you can tell, our mission is changing the way America cares for children and families. We are about 103 years old as an organization, and this is our core of what we do. We're really focused on helping families and children, especially with our Boys Town, Nevada site as well. And this is just a strategic focus of our healthy families and healthy lives. So at the top left there is probably what we're most known for across the nation is our youth and family services. So again, helping youth and our families. And then in the middle and to the right there, you'll see our behavioral health service and our communication disorders. I'd say these are more focused in Omaha, Nebraska, which is actually where we're headquartered with our hospital, because we have a hospital and healthcare site as well. And then in the middle there, you'll see our translational research. So one unique thing about Boys Town is we have the opportunity for when kids come into our program or families come into our programs, we're able to see where they are before they come to Boys Town, where they are while they're at Boys Town or having services from Boys Town, and then when they leave Boys Town 1 year, 5 years, 10 years down the road, which is pretty unique for an organization. So that's pretty great. And then at the bottom there, we have our medical services. So again, in Omaha, Nebraska, we do have our hospital side of things. So if you see a physician for any reason, we do have those services at Boys Town as well. But I am here to talk about Boys Town, Nevada. So as you can see on this slide here, we have several sites across the nation. We are in Florida, we are in Iowa, we're in Louisiana, we're in Nevada, of course. We're based in Las Vegas and Nevada. We are in Rhode Island, so the New England area, and then Washington, D.C. Even though we're headquartered in Omaha, Nebraska, we wouldn't be who we are today without all of our sites and continuing to help families and youth across America. So that being said, I'm going to turn it over here to Lena in a second, but our Boys Town, Nevada site actually did open in 1991, and we have a number of services where we're primarily based with family services as well as community resources, and we do serve over 2,000 children each year in the Vegas area. So definitely an impact being made there. Lena, if you want to take it over here and talk a little bit more about Boys Town, Nevada, and then we'll get to our positions that we're hiring for currently.
Great, thanks, Layla. So my name's Lena. I'm the talent acquisition partner with Boys Town, Nevada. And there in Nevada, like Layla had mentioned, we have been in the community since 1991. We have a variety of programs and services that we've implemented to help the community, which consists of in-home family services, care coordination services, school support with our Lift Together program. We also have a behavioral health clinic and a parent training program. And so if we go to our next slide, it'll go in a little bit more detail about our school support specialist program that we have there. And we're working with the Nevada schools in regards to like classroom behavioral management and teaching administrators on how to work with youth that might be having some challenges in school. And so we have opportunities in a career as a school support specialist, which is a part of our Lift Together program with Boys Town, which is a community-based partnership. This position, a bachelor's degree is preferred. It has the traditional school hours of what the schedule would be. Currently, it is a year-round position. There might be some evening time that this position might require if there's appointments with the families or with the teachers. And so that's a general overview what the schedule looks like. But it's really working with youth in the school setting, and really some of the other requirements would be ability to successfully teach and present behavior skills and material to students. And we do teach and provide extensive training on the Boys Town model. So you'd be taking that model and working with the students in regards to our program. So that's a great position if you have some experience working with youth in a school setting. That is a great starting position into Boys Town. We also have family services, which we work with families that are going through crisis with this program. So there might be drug or alcohol addiction, domestic abuse, adolescent defiance, and behavioral challenges. This position does require a bachelor's degree. It does have that non-traditional schedule because you're working with the families and meeting with the families when they're available. So you might be meeting with 6 families throughout that week and meeting with them 2 hours a day and really teaching parenting skills, helping get family connected to community resources. A bachelor's degree in human services or related field is required for this position, and 1 to 2 years of experience, including working with children and families, is also a requirement for the position. And that could be, you know, sometimes if you've volunteered for the Boys and Girls Club, or if you have been a nanny, you might be able to include that on your resume to kind of help build up that experience. And from time to time, we do have potential internship opportunities that might become available later on down the road for that position and to learn more about that program. The parent trainer is the next position, and that is really providing presentations to a group of parents that are in a classroom style setting and teaching parenting skills based off our Common Sense Parenting program. And it's pretty interesting. If you go to boystown.org and type in Common Sense Parenting or Live Together, you can learn a lot about our programs. There's some interesting statistics too in regards to their programs, but it all kind of goes into detail. There's some videos that also goes into more detail on those programs. But this position is really helping teach parenting skills by developing strengths and to help them develop healthy relationships with their children. High school diploma or equivalent is some of the qualifications for the position. In this position, you would be trained on the Common Sense Parenting Workshop program. There is a lot of travel and reaching out and community outreach involved with this position too. So working with different businesses in regards to getting the word out about the program to the families, and working on scheduling when you can provide those presentations. That's a part of the position too. So a lot of community outreach and classroom presentations are a part of that position. Next, we have our Care Coordination Services Consultant position, and that's also working with families and providing life-changing solutions. This includes advocating for families, whether it be at school meetings, court hearings, or even using the model to help teach parenting skills through role plays. And really teaching parents to be independent and advocate for their own children, and connecting them to community resources to help them through whatever situation they might be going through. If they're if they've lost their job, if they need additional resources in the community, or need to be referred to behavioral health, then this position would help with that coordination of services to help the family.
Great. And I'll just add on
Yeah,
to what Lena's
yeah, go
said
ahead.
real quick. She had mentioned that, so a lot of what she's saying is a lot of these positions are community based because that's very much what our Boys Town, Nevada site does, as well as dealing with our families as well, because we don't, at the end of the day, we don't want to take kids away from their families. We want them to stay in the homes with their families and get those resources from us. So with our in-home family services consultant, she had mentioned our parent trainer as well. And so typically what happens is when a youth sees our in-home consultants, at some point we're not going to be able to provide care with them with our consultants because we're going to have to let them go and then maybe move on to our next family. But we don't just throw our families to the wolves. Maybe a lot of the times they'll see parent trainers and go to those common sense parenting classes so that they still get that support from Boys Town and those community resources, or vice versa. If it's with our care coordination services consultants, they're very much out in the community and helping getting those resources. So.
Great.
Awesome.
Okay. Do you want to talk about benefits, Layla, or do you want me to go into that, or?
If you want to talk, I'll talk about benefits in a second. Is there anything else with the Nevada site you'd like to mention as far as maybe work culture or
Oh,
training,
yes.
anything like that?
Yeah. So what I would recommend is if you go to Boys Town, Nevada Facebook's page, you'll get to learn a lot about the culture at Boys Town, Nevada. And they have some great videos, client testimonials, employee testimonials, even a lot of information on training sessions in regards to our Live Together program and community outreach initiatives, and our employee engagement activities. So Boys Town, Nevada is very engaged with their employees, and they do a lot of fun things throughout the year. And you can learn a lot about the culture of Boys Town, Nevada by going on their Facebook page, because there's some interesting material on there. You can even like the Boys Town, Nevada Facebook page, and that will share, different activities that Boys Town, Nevada is doing in the community there. They're also on Instagram, and they have a LinkedIn page. And then we have a Boys Town National LinkedIn page as well. So I definitely would encourage you, if you want to learn more about the culture and the different activities at Boys Town, Nevada, it's a great resource to learn more about that.
Awesome. Thanks, Lena.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to talk just a little bit more generally about our overall benefits at Boys Town. So we do have pretty great benefits just being a nonprofit organization. Out of the top of my head, as far as our 401k, we have up to a 6% match, which is awesome, especially for a nonprofit. We do have really generous vacation time as well. And we're very much into just providing feedback to our employees, whether it's through just feedback in general with their supervisor, professional development opportunities. Also, we do offer a pretty great training program as well, which I'll talk about that a little bit later here. But we want you to feel like you're trained at Boys Town, and that's why we had the Boys Town model, which was actually a model that's taught to a lot of education systems and schools across the United States. So just a quick overview about some of those benefits that we offer. And then I know personally, one of my favorite parts of working here at Boys Town is our employee resource groups. And for those of you that don't know what an employee resource group is, it's essentially a group where you can come together and connect with your coworkers on more of a personal level, with still that professional piece as well. So we have professional development events, we've had social events and community outreach events, and specific examples of that have been having leadership come and talk during lunch and learns, and that includes all of our sites. I think I had mentioned before that going virtual has definitely helped us include our sites a lot more. And on top of that, we've even had members at our sites become leaders with our employee resource group as well. So they kind of get that leadership experience while volunteering on the back end and networking on the back end as well. Some other things we've done is gone to pumpkin patches, we've gone to baseball games. The sites plan these on their own as well. They might volunteer to run or even participate in runs. So maybe they're volunteering at a food bank, just anything like that. So our first employee resource group was actually Boys Town Merging Leaders. It was kind of a young professionals employee resource group, but we didn't want to exactly call it young professionals because we wanted people of all levels of the organization, no matter what your age is, to be involved. So that launched in 2016. And then this year, we actually had two new other ones launch as well. We had our Black Employee Resource Group launch this year. And then we also had a Latinx Employee Resource Group launch as well. So pretty exciting stuff happening here at Boys Town. And then we do have 3 other employee resource groups that we should be officially introducing at the end of the month. Hasn't exactly been introduced to our entire organization yet, but definitely some exciting stuff happening as far as that goes. So diversity, equity, and inclusion is just a really important part of working at Boys Town, just not only due to the nature of our work and the families and the youth that we're working with, but it's pretty much what we launched on at the beginning of back in 1917. I mean, our founder, Father Flanagan, he was accepting a lot of boys that weren't being accepted by communities just because they had a different skin color or a different religion. And he took those boys in by saying, I don't care what your background is, I'm here to help you and give you a better life. So it's really been something we've been passionate about for a long, long time. And then I mentioned kind of the reason that you guys are all here is, of course, for recruitment and getting a future job, right? So our careers website is actually jobs.boystown.org. That's where you'll find all our positions at all of our sites. And then let's say you do apply and submit that application and meet those minimum qualifications. You would either be set up with Lena with a phone screen or a HireVue interview. And what a HireVue interview is it's basically our video interviewing tool. So that way you're able to complete that interview in your own time. So then if you were to make it past that stage, you would be set up with the hiring manager interview, whether it's virtually or in person. I know COVID's kind of had a say in how that goes this year, so it's really just going to depend. And then comes that offer process. We do have a pretty extensive background check just due to the nature of our working with youth and families. So depending on what your position requirements are, we may be checking your driving history, education requirements, criminal history, work history, stuff like that. So pretty typical for a lot of maybe nonprofit organizations. And then we do have our new employee orientation if you're to be hired on at Boys Town. And what that is just a one-day training where we welcome all new employees to the organization. And that is likely going to be virtual just because typically that does take place in Omaha, Nebraska. But basically that day we just go over the history of Boys Town, why we're here, who we help, just getting you excited about working for a new organization that really makes a difference. And then since you would likely be in a direct care role if you worked at Boys Town, Nevada, we would put you through a 2-week pre-service training for all direct care positions. And that's where you would learn that Boys Town model that I spoke about earlier. And that's basically just how to teach the behaviors or just how to provide sources or resources to families that you're helping in the future, and just a lot of role plays. So there's lots of role plays that take place. Just a really good learning opportunity for you to ask questions and kind of immerse yourself in the position. And then we do have a shadowing piece that happens after that as well. So we do very much believe in feedback and training at Boys Town, just so we provide the best possible service that we can. So that pretty much wraps up me and Lena's presentation, but I know I always like to give a few last words as to advice, just if you're interested in working for a nonprofit or human services organization in general. It's always great if it's Boys Town, Nevada, but we get that doesn't always happen. But I think any volunteer experience or work experience that shows that you're willing to give back to your community, just since we are a nonprofit and that's very much what our mission is helping others. Volunteer experience, it's okay to get creative with that sometimes, whether it's helping out with the community organization in Nevada, or maybe it's even, Lena had mentioned earlier, if you're a nanny, a babysitting experience counts as that youth experience as well. So I'd say list it on your resume. We want to see it. Lena, do you have any advice for students as well?
Yeah, I think that's great. Yeah, definitely. When applying for different opportunities, you want to really take a look at the experience and how it relates to your education, volunteering, or past work experience. So ensuring that that is all on the resume is definitely important. Um, Making sure that everything's filled out completely as well. And of course, you know, you're always welcome to give me a call if you have any questions about different career opportunities at any time. You're welcome to reach out, you know, after applying as well, to ensure that we received your application, or if you have any questions in particular about the position, we're always here to answer those questions. So, you know, feel free to reach out at any time.
Awesome. Yeah, and if you guys do have questions, I listed our email there. It's btrecruiter@boystown.org, and I am monitoring that inbox every single day. So love to hear from you guys, whether it's now or you're graduating down the road and you're not quite sure about what opportunities are available. We're always happy to help you out with that. And then we are also on Facebook. So if you're interested in seeing some employee spotlights, getting a vibe of what the work culture is like at Boys Town, what our benefits are, you can follow us. It's Boys Town Careers. And then Lena and I are also on LinkedIn, so feel free to connect with us as well. At this point, we'll also take any questions that you guys have as well.
Yes, thank you. I'm going to also stop recording at